Now charged with killing a woman and her one-year-old baby boy. The Berks County District Attorney announcing additional murder charges against 61-year-old Jose Rodriguez. He'd previously been charged with killing the victim's husband, Junior Cabrera Colon. Investigators laying out the horrific timeline before each member of the family is killed. This is the 5 o'clock news. I'm Jason Martinez, and we do want to warn you, these details are just incredibly upsetting and hard to hear. But you may remember the mother and son were reported missing earlier this month, and then just days later, their bodies were found. Kelly, you were there for today's painful announcement. What are you learning?
Yeah, Jason, that's right. Extremely painful to hear. The investigators did say today this is still an active investigation, but did say there was some sort of intimate relationship between the defendant and one of the three victims, and clearly something went wrong. The DA said the defendant did confess to all three murders. He called this case extremely difficult and said they are looking at possibly pursuing the death penalty.
Unfortunately, in our jobs, we deal with bad things all the time. This is a different level.
For the first time, the Berks County District Attorney outlining the horrific timeline of the murders of 31-year-old Junior Cabrera Colon, his wife, 31-year-old Geraldina Peguero Manciba, and their one-year-old son, Jaden Junior Peguero, allegedly at the hands of 61-year-old Jose Rodriguez. The DA says he confessed to all three murders.
The loss of life of these adults that were killed was unnecessary. The loss of life of that one-year-old was cruel. It was horrible.
The DA's office announced the arrest of Rodriguez for the murder of Junior last week. Investigators say he was shot in the head, found early on September 13th in the brush along River Road in Bear Park, where there is now a growing memorial.
That is the investigation that started all of this, the finding of the body in Bear Park. But it was actually the last murder that he committed.
The DA says Reading police learned that no one had heard from Junior's wife and their one-year-old son since the day before, September 12th. Cell phone records led them to an access road off East Holler Lane in Otolani Township, where they found Geraldina's body, and days later, not far away, they found Jaden in a shallow pond. The DA says Rodriguez and Geraldina had some sort of intimate relationship, meeting at least a year ago when they worked in a warehouse together, and he was infuriated that she would not leave her husband and was taking his money. The DA says Rodriguez admitted to picking Geraldina and Jaden up on September 12th with the intention to kill her, and that he shot Geraldina once in the back of the head and threw Jaden in nearby muddy water.
I can't imagine anything more horrifying than throwing that one-year-old child into that pond of water, and that child is left there to die.
Rodriguez allegedly told investigators he shot Junior near his last listed address on Center Avenue when Junior confronted him about his involvement with Geraldina.
Mr. Rodriguez had no prior criminal history, so something happened. No matter what, no one deserved to die.
The DA said today investigators recovered substantial video evidence as well as physical evidence that Rodriguez actually led them to, including a gun as well as some of Geraldina's belongings. Now, Rodriguez told investigators he acted alone, but part of their active and ongoing investigation is to determine if anybody.
Shalom. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us this truth according to the Bible and rule well. And not Shalom, not a sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth through diligence and sincerity and in charity. And not Shalom to all you sincere followers, believers of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, not just hearers of the word, but doers as well, you men, women, and children, the hopeful elect. Shalom. Not quite sure my title's lesson, but I was watching that news clip, and it made me furious. It also made me realize that us as Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, we fucked up. All right, and the Lord is just having these curses cling to us for how we did Him. Okay, as a people, by worshiping other gods, worshiping other idols. Okay, the Lord said that, Let's get a quick precept before I go to that. Let's see here. I forgot what that precept was at. Yep. This is Amos 7:17. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth in this land. There's no new thing upon the sun. All right. There's no new thing up under the sun. And, we still got the curses clinging to us. And this is a big one. Our wife being a harlot, being a hoe. All right. And here it is. She was getting down with a work husband, because these things exist, work husband and work wives. All right. And that's evil and that's wicked. And our people are receiving, the judgment for those things. All right. And that's the importance of repenting. Part of what this Day of Atonement is about, man. Turning back to Yahweh Bashim Abishai for our wrongful thoughts, sayings, doings. All right, how we have been conducting ourselves on the earth. It's time to turn back to righteousness now, man. True love is the law, statutes, and commandments, man. How you treat your brother, how you treat your sister. Right? But the law, statutes, commandments are not held in high esteem here. It's not being held up high by Esau. Right? Which, it's not supposed to because he's the wicked, but just saying. This is Exodus 20:14. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay? Spiritually, worshiping other gods and idols. Right? And physically, laying down with another man's woman. Okay? Jumping down, verse 17, Exodus 20:17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. All right? Let's get that word for covet. That's for those who don't know. In the Hebrew, hamad. All right? It says to desire. It says take pleasure in. Desire, desirable. To delight greatly. You're not supposed to desire. Let's get that definition real quick. A lust, a wish, a lust, a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. All right. So when the scriptures say thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, wife, all right, etc., you're not supposed to have a strong lust for that, because what's for one man is for one man, and what's for you is for you. But our people are not content. Our people don't understand that thought process. It also makes you think, these women do not need to be in the workforce. They do not need to be in the workforce because adultery comes into play. Work husbands. Right? And then she was using them on top of that. That's a bitch. That's a bitch. Right? know it's in the Apocrypha. Yeah. Ecclesiastes 26 and 25. It says, I started 22. A harlot should be counted as spit, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. See, our women are supposed to be married, man, and faithful to your husband, right? But guess what? We get it. We up under the curses, all right? But when you know better, you do better. Jumping down, verse 25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. What is a female dog? A bitch. It says, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. And these women ain't fearing the Lord. Now, we do have the hopeful elect women, all right, that are being shamefaced to the best of their ability. And we applaud y'all. Keep being shamefaced and fearing the Lord, all right? And best believe, those of you women that are serving the Lord, they don't have a man, the Lord's going to send you one of his men. All right, he's going to send you one of his men. All right, we are desiring, righteous women too. Okay, we want a woman that's serving the Lord, but all in due time. Okay. It's verse 26. It says, a woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. And that woman was not wise. She thought she was being wise by, letting him pop her and she getting money from him. All right. And baby, you got all this money. I got a raise on my job. Bunch of BS. It says, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. And she was counted ungodly, man. She was counted ungodly. And even down to the baby and her husband, right? No one perished being innocent. None of them were innocent. This is Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. All right. I can't find it. Maybe it'll come back to me. All right, but and this goes on, every single day in America, man. All right. And what's supposed to happen? Let's see here. See, there's a law on this. Just give me 1 second. Is it here? Let's see here. Nah. I forgot where it was at. Yeah, Salaki, I can't find it right now. But yeah, when adultery is committed, all right, and it's caught in the act, it's supposed to be the woman supposed to be stoned, I believe. All right, but these things don't happen. The law of Yahweh Bashim Shah don't go forth. So therefore, what these things continue to happen. All right, let's get one last one, wrapping on up. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Right. So if these, work husbands, all right, and work wives, right? The husband is plotting on a woman that has a husband. The woman is plotting on another man when she already has a husband, right? Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. The Lord didn't strike you down immediately. Therefore, the hearts of the Son of Man is fully set in them to do evil, all right? That mind. That's why Jeremiah 17 tells you the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? That mind, that the biggest battle is your mind. And these women are the weaker vessel. You got this man deleted and his seed deleted all because of your lustful actions. And a lot of you women are going to pay in these last days that are in that mindset, that haven't repented from that type of bullshit. The Lord's going to destroy you in some way, form, or fashion, man. Yahweh Shema Shah don't play about adultery, man. And no, you cannot do what a man does. As long as a woman doesn't have a husband, that man can deal with her and you. And that time is coming back. Isaiah 4:1. If you don't like it, get the fuck on. Ecclesiastes 8:11, because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, right? A transgressor. And who knows that if that was even her husband's child, the way she was getting down, right? I was gonna say you gotta watch some Simeonites, but you gotta watch all the damn tribes, man. You gotta watch all the tribe women. That's why we need to get the fuck up out of here, man. We need Yahweh Shai. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. See, we know it's going to go well for those that fear, right? There was nothing sweeter than to take heed to the commandments, man, because the transgressors are going to perish. The Lord said in Amos the 9th chapter, all the sinners of his people shall die by the sword. Marvel if a sinner escapes, roughly paraphrasing, man. Everything comes to light. Everything comes to light. And we live in the times where things are being revealed. So you men out here is being these work husbands, committing adultery. You women out here that's being work wives and committing adultery. You better repent and seek the Lord while you can. And so if something, you don't have to believe. You could be the next Pagado, man. All right? I think that was her last name, Pagado. All right? Because the Lord got these spirits created for vengeance, man. And that guy, Rodriguez, right, was a spirit created for vengeance. The Lord, man, whew. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. Anyways, Ecclesiastes 8:13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh. And that's what it's about. He's like, it's fearing the Lord. And it's Satan to try to get you, man. Right? Satan to try to get you. You ain't, we live in a time where a lot of brothers are lonely, man. A lot of brothers are lonely. They don't have a woman. All right. And a woman may be on your job. She mean, throwing hints at you. All right. Wearing tight skirts. Coming around your desk or your work area. Right. And she married. She got a man. She got a husband. Right. That's how Satan try to get you up out of here, man. But you got to resist Satan and he shall flee. As well as you work women, man. You work wise. You got a husband at home, but you playing house at work. Go sneaking off on your lunch break, getting freaky deaky. The Lord sees everything, man. The Lord sees everything. Sick fucking place, man. We gotta get the fuck up out of here. Shalom.